Well, it appears we're live, so welcome to this edition of What the Fuck Happenings here in Mendham. Yes, the live
It
edition.
appears we're live.
Okay, that's plenty loud enough. Ooh, obnoxiously so. Anyway, so yeah, just out of laziness or something like that. It's very hot here. No shirt for that reason. I figured that could be the extra bonus. Why not throw an extra bonus? Always good to have a little extra, rebates and coupons, whatever. Some sort of bribery. So the images in the background shouldn't be anything vulgar and disgusting. It should just be pictures I've taken pictures of, things I've taken pictures of, relevant to things in my life. Um, like, for example, there's a lot of this picture with the sign on the island, the campaign, the mayor stuck a sign, the to be mayor, mayoress, Mrs. Mayor. Yeah. Uh, they break the rules. Who cares? Rules are to bash over the peasants. It's disgusting. Anyway, so yeah, I have a regular video I'll post later. Well, it's not really regular. All my videos are a little irregular. Oh, I was supposed to open that pop-up chat thing. Oh yeah, that's right. This is live, so I should interact with the lunatics. Ooh, that's not a good sign. Yeah, I'll ignore that. Uh, green screen of death. So we'll pop out the chat. See if it works properly. So far, so good. So yeah, we'll go with that. Close enough. So hello, yes, hello. Well, I'm doing better than I could be, so I guess I shouldn't be complaining, right? I mean, it's been a pretty good summer, and um, you know, yeah, it's okay-ish. A lot of shit happening, and I got a lot of worries. Lots of worries, but I'm not worrying about them at the moment. Um, so I mean, I personally can't complain. No Lyme disease for over a year. Lots of things have been much better. So that's good. Um, so I shouldn't complain. See, but this picture's way out of focus, so that's bad. So some bad things still happen. Even in the good, there's bad. Um, yeah. Um, but yeah, it's just the world is such an ugly place, and everything's gotten so stupid. There's just so little to hope for. Because everybody's a lunatic. I mean the Republicans are insane, but the liberal counter argument of every foreigner is a lovely human being, and we need to you know bring more in. Let's never speak English ever again. I mean, I don't understand any of it. It's insane, really stupid. So, the political atmosphere is just dismal. So there's just nothing on the horizon that looks like any kind of thing called hope at all. That's the house I lived in when I was a teenager. It was brown back then. It's changed its color. But his little cement porch. Used to sit on there with my grandfather, smoke his cigars and shit. And yeah, used to have some big pine trees, but they all got killed by the hurricane. You know, but shit happens. But yeah, I mowed that lawn hundreds and hundreds of times. Yeah. So anyway, you can still see the big pine tree in the back. It's being blocked by the pop-up chat thing, but whatever. So there's a couple of them still left. Used to be our Christmas trees. Plant them around after Christmas. Let's see, Gary. Do you think it's possible to survive a winter in a van with no heating? Yes. I survived in this house with no heat, and you just got to buy a thermal suit. One of those winter zip-up suits, and it's survivable. But I wouldn't recommend it. It's dismally depressing. Yes, people are complete shit. Yes. Do electrons have gender? Well, not really. Yeah, Mendham has huge horse houses. Yes, big houses. Everyone under 120 IQ are incapable of not being. Well, the smart people are just as dumb. So this idea that there's dumb people and there's smart people. No, there's just dumb people. Just even the smart people are really dumb, frankly. No, there's no heat. You need a coat and a blanket. Yeah, a card table is good too. The smaller you can make your spaces, the better. The morbid atheist, my favorite YouTube person of all time. Let's see. Oxford University released a paper. It basically states that Drake equation is bullshit. Well, that should be obvious to anybody. I mean, I declared it bullshit 20 years ago. I mean, it was the minutes Carl Sagan started talking, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? You can't predict that, you lunatic. And that we are most likely alone in the universe. Well, I think the fact that the universe is much older than us, most of it, and it hasn't figured out how to do anything, say hello in any way whatsoever, kind of seals the deal. So maybe this nightmare is only confined to this planet. Yes, I mean, the whole thing is amazingly, when you think of all the one-time events that we're based on. I mean, neurons, just think about neurons. There's only one kind of cell that ever was developed that does this, that has this ability to create an electric matrix, and synthesize reflexive programming. I mean, it only happened once, and it's completely dependent on a one-time cell. That, a cell that didn't happen. There's not another kind of neuron out there, another kind of cell that does the same thing. Do you think there's a possibility of life other places? Oh, we just answered that question. It won't be anything like this life. It won't be sentient. you know, Sentience is another whole one-time event thing. It's all one-time events. There's just no evidence this stuff just happens. You just throw some bacteria on Mars, and all of a sudden, in a few million years, it's doing calculus. This doesn't happen. Yeah, well, when people think about having life on a planet, they have to look at the ocean and say, would they wish that on another planet? A bunch of organisms chasing each other for food, right? That's all there is in the ocean, is things trying to figure out a way how to kill you and eat you. Nothing beautiful in that shit. Millions of children eaten a day per day. I mean, every day, millions. I mean, they have preposterously huge attrition rates in the ocean. Every fish lays hundreds, thousands of little babies that hatch and get annihilated. They say hello world, and that's the last words come out of their mouth. And gobble gobble. So anyway, nice views. Remember the AHA moment about charge. Love those. I don't know what the hell that is. You have to speak in plain English. I don't do this, whatever that is. Here's an excerpt. Oh, I don't really need an excerpt. We already know it's bullshit. We find a substantial probability that we are alone in the galaxy, and perhaps even ourselves, our observable universe. Yeah, well, whatever. That's probably just as bad as their Drake equation, as them making any analysis. I mean, they fell for something silly, so we're surprised that why did it take them 25 years to say, oh yeah, the Drake equation was just made up. I mean, it's just for fun, not serious. Nobody cares about you, IRL. Oh, wow, a very interesting comment. Whatever that means, IRL. I got an A in my. Well, I don't really care. I mean, didn't you already say this somewhere else? In my introductory physics class. Now I'm on to physics 2, thermodynamics, electricity, magnetism. This was where it should start getting more interesting than just mechanics. Well, no, it's still just mechanics. You know, now you're just going to have, you know, This is just going to be vectors. Let's see. I imagine throwing rockets loaded with thousands of gallons of raw sewage at Mars or the moon. Yeah, whatever. I don't see what point there would be in that, but whatever. Imagine whatever you want. I really imagine giant vaginas and things. I don't really bother wasting my time imagining sewage in Mars. What about simulation theory? It sounds like just faggoty bullshit. What is that? Simulation theory. Let's all pretend and play make believe. Pantomime theory. Let's pantomime the universe. It's fucking gay. We are alone in the simulation, but the creators are fapping to it. Oh, that's just hilarious. Let's see, bunch of irrelevancy. Should twerk. No, I shouldn't twerk. It should be against the law anyway. It's disgusting. Asses are should be seen and not heard. First fact. And they shouldn't be allowed to bounce around too much. Just to see if the biology would, whatever, mingle with the atmosphere or just evaporate. Just to see if well, so who cares? So you're commenting on your own dopey comment about sending sewage to Mars or the moon, and no one could even give a shit about your first comment, and then you're commenting on your first comment as if everybody read your first comment, which they'd have to be an imbecile to make that mistake. So far, you're not winning. Let's see. Elon Musk likes it. I don't know what he likes, but he's kind of queer, frankly. I mean, doesn't he seem kind of queer to you? He seems like kind of a queer person. He's very strange and weird, and I wouldn't want to have dinner with him kind of person. Wouldn't let him babysit my goldfish. What's your argument for morality being objective? Yes, I think obviously some elements of ethics are objectively discernible as bad and good. You can figure some of this stuff out. And I clearly can have a reason-based assessment of a circumstance. And other people can have different reasoning based on their set of facts. But I would argue that I do logic better than them, so mine's correct and theirs is incorrect. But yes, there's a truth, and a smart thing knows it. Dumb things don't know it, smart things do know it. Are peanut allergies contagious? I wouldn't think so, unless contagious means you got it from your mother. So, Gary, I became a lawyer after all. Yes, that was good. I work with legal services, which is bad. And we help poor people, right? Usually liars, cheaters, thieves, bums, assholes in various legal issues. Yes, and they're usually always wrong. The poor people are always usually wrong. They have rigged the system. They've fucked with somebody. They've done something wrong. They're usually not the victim of something except people giving them money and they threw it away and they wasted it or some other thing that they wasted. And so they all suck. Yeah, so as you're just pointing out, one of our clients is 25 years old and 7 kids. She should have been shot. She should have been. There's no excuse for it. Absolutely no excuse. You can't pay for the first kid. What do you shouldn't be allowed to have the second one. The government should just take them away. Take them, give them to Disneyland. Let Disneyland take care of them. They've got to have some kind of Munchkinville they can live in, or the Keebler treehouse. There's got to be some place you can send kids where they can do some sort of what were those Wonka Wonka thingies from Willy Wonka or something. Let the kids go there and be Wonkas or something. Fuck it. Don't let these idiots raise their kids because they're idiots. They're child molesting, motherfucking, dumb, ignorant fucking cunts, and they should not be allowed to raise children. Let's see. Sorry, I got a tooth rotting away in my skull. Well, I know that feeling. So sorry. I mean, I empathize with that because teeth should be made out of stainless steel. These shitty things. Mine got so fucked up from different things, and once they get fucked up, you can't even take care of them anymore because they're so fucked up. You can't clean the tooth next to the tooth that hurts like hell. So then they start all getting fucked up. So yeah, it's just really bad teeth. I hate teeth. I hate my teeth anyway. I don't know who Ty Lopez is, but I assume I don't like it because it's a Lopez. Do you still hate Google? Not as, I hate Google a lot more than Lopez's. Yes. You should see the movie Lion. No, I shouldn't. There's a pro antinatalist message in it. The adoptive parents chosen to adopt and not have kids. Why? I don't think anybody should choose to want to have kids in the first place. Why would you want to have children? It's just a huge worry. That's all it is. It's like saying, I'm a masochist. I want to worry. And if you're not worrying, and if you're really having fun, then you're a sadist. You're a sick motherfucker. Because all you're going to do is watch your kid go through torments. One torment after another torment, learning its little life lessons. I wouldn't want to be witness to any of that shit. Asians will rule the world. Well, I don't know. I mean, frankly, some form of Asian, you mean like Indians or Asians? Yeah. They're now saying there is a possibility of life on one of Saturn's moons. Well, they say lots of things are just absolutely silly, but obviously Saturn is cold as fuck. With Saturn's moons, there's very unlikely that any of them are at such a temperature that you could sustain any kind of active biological function, chemistry, active chemistry. So there's no chance, realistically. So I don't know who they are, but they are idiots if they're saying that. Um, well, saying you consider me a grandfather, then I'll consider you a zygote. How's that? Fuckhead. Fucking rude thing to say. I have a mild disability. Well, don't we all? I don't care about the disability. It's society that has made me suffer enough to be clearly an antinatalist. Yeah, well, society didn't ruin me, frankly. You know, I mean, society's bad, but I mean, nature's bad. It's all bad. The whole game is bad. What the thoughts in my head were bad. you know, me want more than they have. Me. And the whole thing sucks. I mean, ones are tough. The mean ones are tough. The nice ones who don't really believe me are worse. I don't know what that means. Another view of my house. My room was the one right in the middle. Little window in the middle. That's my room. That's me, emotional torment my entire life. I used to have a telescope, but look at spy on the neighbors through my window. What about sandworms? I don't know what that means. What did you eat for dinner tonight? Beans and rice. And fortunately, the last of a very crappy loaf of bread I made. I'm not brilliant at making bread for some reason. It's just comes out too crumbly, it's always too something. I got to work on it. I don't know how I fuck it up. It's pretty simple, but I do fuck it up. I became a new subscriber after seeing your interview with Hambone, freaking hilarious, awesome, blah blah blah. Yes, well, yes, interesting character, but again, too focused on human beings, not focused enough on the biological system. Humans are just a tiny part of this catastrophe, just a tiny part of the catastrophe. This is the path I jog. Uh, Draft Science is just a performance art channel. Well, it's a silly thing to say, but whatever. I mean, it's obviously got tons of arguments on it. It's got direct questions asked where we don't even get answers from the pussies who claim their physics is so right, yet they can't answer simple questions. Yeah. So just be a fucking asshole. Stupid hoe. If you become invisible, what would be the first thing you would do? Oh, fuck. Well, there'd be a lot of people having freak accidents. Just freak. Hey, lots of people falling down staircases, especially pregnant women. Whoa, I don't know what's going on. Everybody's slipping on banana peels everywhere and dying. Yeah. What's going on? Do you like lentils? No, I don't. I don't understand them at all, actually. I totally don't get it. Uh, Glad you pointed out that life people suck for many reasons. Yes. I mean, it's just unfortunate that, we have enough intelligence to seem intelligent, but not to really be intelligent. We can mimic intelligence, but we can't do it. And the human race has just humiliated all these neurons by having these silly notions in their head. Uh, do you like pomegranates? I don't know. I don't really like anything that has too many syllables in it. So, but yeah, it's I'm a simple person. I don't, apple, orange, rice, beans, pasta. Simple, simple. Pomegranate sounds complicated. Scientists aren't lying. They're just absolutely ignorant of their foundation, the history of their science. They really don't understand the history of their own science. So this was the cat that showed up with the other long-haired cat. You can see he's all kind of pretty good shape. His fur is kind of nice and everything. So he must be a, a kept cat, you know. But it was funny that the two cats are the same breed, just different markings, and they ended up being friends. Very funny, coincidental, whatever. So again, just another, you can't ask the question in a reasonable manner. I've never said scientists are liars. Scientists are liars. I've said they're dupes. They're fools. Like any other religious kooks, they fell for a really dopey story. Do you plan to do a debate night again like the Stickham days? I don't even know what that means, but no. Have been watching them again recently and think I could be bigger these days as you have more viewers. But there's no one worth talking to. So you open a room to people and people can't stay on the subject, and then the trolls take over. You can't do live rooms on YouTube because they don't give you any the actual they actually allow the trolls to kick you out of your own room. I mean, they have horrible software. It's just absolutely useless to have an open room. Uh, a stove is a slow cooker. I'm just saying, newsflash. You can make anything into a slow cooker. But yeah, I don't bother slow cooking anything because slow cooking is for like meat and stuff. Let's see. What if the Chanos complex? If Native Americans were really native, then why are we building a wall on their land? Well, I don't think we are building a wall actually. So I think that's just a urban myth that we never build to be a wall. But we clearly know why we are. We're blocking civilizations. We're trying not to be polluted by a virus. Frankly, you want to live in shit, then okay, go ahead, open the border and just say free food, free healthcare, and see how long your civilization lasts. I fed a stray cat a few weeks ago. He comes back for food every day now. I'm turning into Gary. Yeah, well, now you got turtles, you got cats. You're really going to be in trouble. It's an awful, yeah, it's a terrible worry. I'm just giving you the, I'm not saying it's not a nice thing to do. I'm just saying it's just so it never ends well, and it's just no fun. Uh, no wonder Stickham went under. Well, Stickham went under for a different reason than spammers. Stickham at least had some tools you could fight back. Can't fight back with Google. Google loves trolls. Let's see. Inmendham is vain and petty. Well, fuck you. Having more egos on one hangout will cramp his style. Exactly right. I'm inviting people into the room. Okay, I have an open invitation to people who can debate something reasonably. So just lie some more. You're going to fuck you. Just fuck off, ho. I mean, it's such a bullshit accusation. I haven't run from anyone, asshole, ever. I do not run from a challenge by anyone, ever, asshole. I've made more response videos to people's videos than anybody, asshole. Fuck. Keep hydrated. Oh, yeah, well, I'll keep walking on my feet too, right? And I'll pick things up with my fingers. You know, I hate when people give like, don't stick a nail in your eye. I mean, stupid fucking advice. Do you think psychology therapy helps anyone at all? Yes, I think it does help many people quite a bit. Some people have little problems, you know what I mean? They get bad touch or something. Somebody mistreats them in their past. They have all trauma and it gets their head all dizzy and warped. And then somebody can just explain to them, hey, it really doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is your opinion of you. Don't let their opinion control you. It's you power up. And they can figure out how to, over time, let go of that, recondition themselves out of that perception. So, yeah, some people's problems are fixable, some people's aren't. That's the way it works. Do you like chili? No, not much. What about a pressure cooker? What about it? Yeah, I've had a couple. It's just don't need it. So fuck it. Yeah, that's the simple answer. I don't need one. Oh dear, this stupid chat always pops around here. I hate that. And then you can never get back to where you were. All right. Sexy people like you should be breeding. Oh, fuck you to dead. So what? Everybody has idiosyncrasies. The argument. It's the arguments that matter. I guess it's that matter, not the messenger. Yes, duh. So that's more obvious stuff. Oh, shit. Don't play with dynamite. How would you respond to an argument that kids cannot consent to sex at early age, therefore we should not let kids have the right to die by suicide because they're too immature to make this decision? Well, clearly it's a decision that has to be made. So, sex you can just put off. It's not a big deal. But the need to die because you have cancer or something like that, it's a real need. So you have to have a different standard. It's not the same thing. One thing is kind of a trivial thing. One thing is a very significant thing, and the decision has to be made. And of all the people's opinions who should count, clearly the child's opinion should count the most. It's their life, for fuck's sake. And if they're not interested, why should you force them to be interested? It's just that stupid. I mean, it's like forcing somebody to have a need they don't have. So it's like, I'm not addicted to cigarettes, let's say, and you addict me to cigarettes. You haven't done me any favors. All right, my cat died. Yes, they all die. It's a terrible booby trap. Terribly cute, and then they die. So there's the Mellow. So he's been showing up very periodically. So he didn't show up for 2 weeks, and he showed up the other day for breakfast, and then he's gone again. Very weird cat. Not like the other cats at all. The other cats showed up, and they just kept showing up. This cat, nah, not so much. All right, precisely because the Mexicans have done so well with their crappy country. I don't know who he's responding to or what he's saying, but obviously we don't want to be Mexico. We want to be more civilized than Mexico. And you don't get more civilized than Mexico by importing kind of the dregs of Mexico. The people who really hate being in Mexico because Mexico isn't working for them. I don't think America is going to work for them either. So anyway, did you see that Trump got whatever that is, Baba Booey? in the year 2018. I don't know. Is this relevant? I don't know what this makes any sense. I don't know what this. I don't even know what this means. Just such rubbish comment. I mean, can't make any sense out of it. I know you have a bad tooth, but it's just your comments really just aren't doing me any good. How is it? Thousands of scientists are all ignorant. How is it? Well, because they get taught the same history. They get taught lies. They get taught that the young showed up and all of a sudden did an experiment. All of a sudden they noticed there was this thing. Look at the pattern it's making. It's on, off, on, off. It must be interference. It must be wave interference. And, Newton had already made the observation 150 years earlier. There was no news. So I'm just saying all your scientists don't even understand history. They don't understand the experiments. They don't understand the phenomenons. They just learn what they're told, and what they're told is bullshit. Doesn't the scientific method kind of prevent scientists from all propagating ignorance? Well, I'm just saying there is no scientific method. Where have they redone the Eddington experiment? The thing that made Einstein a worldwide celebrity was the Eddington experiment, yet it's never been successfully repeated. Even though we had perfect conditions last year, the perfect eclipse, couldn't be a more perfect eclipse to do the experiment, and none of your scientists did it. None of your scientists repeated the most famous experiment that's never been repeated in history of physics. And coincidentally, at the same time that it's around the 100th year anniversary of Einstein's theory. So, coincidence to the 100-year anniversary, and they still didn't do the experiment. Why? All right. I don't know what ha 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 means. I wish. Who cares? Don't wish. It won't get you anywhere. Sorry about your cat, Drew. Okay, well, whatever. No, if you're going to do chit chat between each other, do it in some other room. Feminism is destroying humanity. No, feminism isn't a problem. Women have too much power. Like, too much power to do what? What's their power? They have a period. They get pregnant, and they don't have a penis. And you say they have too much power. I think I'll just block you. Yeah, you're too silly. Too fucking silly. So he has the nuts of a fucking emu. So he has a ostrich nuts. No wonder why he's talking shit. The need to die. I like that. Yes. Happens. Do you think Roe versus Wade will be overturned? Well, clearly Trump will appoint a lunatic. And so, yeah, the 5-4 court's going to become a 6-3 court. So, yes, Roe is in trouble. Also, people who act like mentally ill people shouldn't have the right to die. Well, whatever. How again can you go wrong with the right to die? How can somebody accidentally, mistakenly die when they wanted to do it? It can never be a mistake. If you don't find it offensive or disturbing, then how can it ever be a mistake? It's just retarded. You're don't cry for me Argentina thing. There's no tragedy and you're crying. It's just absolutely idiotic. Your channel is an awesome contribution. Thank you so much for it. Well, whatever. Blah, blah, blah. It's determinism. I don't, Oh, look at that. It's me. Yay. Yeah. 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 Looking pretty good. Mostly. Some parts of me look still pretty good. Let's see. Anyway. Anyone here have a Volvo 240 wagon to sell me? Okay, so I'm going to just block you now, okay, Bugses? Because now you've really just gone way over my patience thing. How come I can't block you, you fucking cunt? You got some kind of magic powers? What the fuck is this shit? It must be my image. I have to pull the chat out just to block you. Okay, well, I'll remember to do that next time. Here it is. Hide user. Okay. Fuck you. Don't type garbage, please. I really have no patience. Let's see. Why do Mexicans have so many babies? I don't know. They believe in God and stuff, and they think they're supposed to have babies because that's somehow a wonderful thing to do. And most of it just has to do with them dreaming of their child taking care of them in their old age or something. It's something insidious. But you can ask, why do anybody have so many babies? It's not just Mexicans. Anybody. You still eat sweets. I don't know what that pastries. I don't even know what that is. But anyway, chocolate, etc. Generally speaking, no. I like to make cookies now and then. So yeah, if you want like a cookie or something. Let's see. I gave all that up and lost 10 pounds a month. Yeah, well, snacking will get you in trouble. So, giving up. I mean, if you eat bread instead of a cookie, you're still going to gain weight. So it's not about so much what you eat. It's about the fact that you eat. All right. Why do Mexicans? Oh, we already did that bad. It's rude. Do you think all movies are stupid or only most of them? Well, not all movies are stupid. I don't never said all movies are stupid. I'm amazed at the stupid plot flaws in movies. I mean, some of them you're just like saying, "Oh, come on, I couldn't have fixed that. That's a stupid. That's just stupid." Yeah, it's just really dumb things like there's the well, I don't want to go into it, but you know what I mean. It's the stupid part where they shoot 675 bullets and none of them hit anyone. Just things that just say, "What the fuck am I watching this for?" It's stupid. Could you explain how you think feminism is not helping right now? Could you explain how you think feminism is not helping right now? I don't know what that means. Is it just a certain type, like third wave? None of this makes any sense. Fuck you, whatever that garbage is. I'm just saying I'm a feminist. Generally speaking, I'm for women not being extorted into relationships with men that they don't want to live with for stupid reasons. And I'm for respecting the fact that women have the burden of this stupid pregnancy thing and, certain things like that. But, I'm not for giving women $1 million just for being born women or something. I mean, I'm for women having the right to. I mean, I don't see any point in allowing girls to go to Boy Scout meetings. I mean, that doesn't make much sense, frankly. So some things are stupid. They ought to have Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts because, frankly, as kids, you kind of want to, you can't get too explicit in conversation, but you know what I mean? Kids are just curious. They tend to talk about stuff. You can't have, mixed company groups of kids talking about penises and vaginas. That's just probably not a good idea. Um, you know, you can't take all the there's some necessary separation required for there to be a purpose in men chasing women later. So if they become too familiar too young, I don't know if they'll appreciate. I think it'll fuck them. I think it fucks up men and women if you smash them too close together too much, too young. But that's just my theory. I mean, young is okay, but I just mean once they start hitting teen years, it's yeah, you got to keep their distance. Friend of mine, I mean, or they're just all kinds of trouble. A friend of mine is dying of cancer. Well, that's nice and depressing. The local government doesn't support the right to die. Well, no government does. Do you think it would be worth fighting for it, or simply taking it into his own hands? Yeah, you have to take it into your own hands. You're not going to win any of those battles, fast enough to be any good. And while you're in the process of dying, you're not going to feel well enough to do it. So it just seems kind of silly to bother. It's something we got to fight for before we're dying, not while we're dying. If you wait till you're dying to fight for it, you're not going to get it. Determinism makes no sense because consciousness can't be ignored. Well, that's just a silly. Oh, black cocks matter. Yeah, fuck you. You're what an idiot. Colossally useless asswipe. Ugh, people. Scum. Like I said, we ought to drone the scum. Lots of easy to see, easy to find scum on this planet. So I'm an ethicist, but I can't think about animals being tortured or I'll go insane. Well, who's obligating you to think about it? Once you know something, I don't think about 2 + 2 = 4. I already know it. I don't spend every day, oh yeah, 2 + 2 = 4, 2 + 2 = 4. Once you know something, you don't have to spend any time thinking about it. What happened to Bathtub Guy? Who cares? He wasn't very useful. Why do lots of people hate the Jews so much? Well, because they are kind of tied to a lot of, usury, a lot of exploitation, um, abuse of power, that kind of stuff. They are very gangish too. They kind of help their own, fuck the rest of the people, tribal, but obviously that's been taken to preposterous extreme. I suppose there's also lots of people kind of resent all the attention and whoring. Like only Jews have suffered on earth. Like nobody else has suffered like the poor Jews. No, lots of people have suffered. There's lots of people have had true drink genocide in the sense that they don't even exist anymore. There's no, their entire species, has been eradicated. I think Mexicans should pay for their own baby cages. Well, whatever that means, but fine. I think everybody should pay for their own. I should be deported. I don't know what that means, but yeah, I don't see any point in deporting people. I see a point in preventing people from coming here. And the simple solution is to have employer sanctions for hiring people who aren't trying to be citizens. So I give all the people here a social security number, and I'd say you have an obligation to try to be a citizen. You have an obligation to try to learn English, try to be an American. And you don't have to do this stuff, but it's we're just telling you this is what if you're going to love this country, this is what you're going to do. And then just prevent anybody else from getting in the damn country. Just say you can't work here. So if you want to invade our country and try to do something, well, you can't get any social services and you can't get a job here. I don't think anybody would keep coming. So that's the simple solution, the $5 solution. It cost all of $5 to clean this mess up. Deporting is insanely expensive. It's just an insanely stupid way of addressing the problem. Why do you think the concept of free will still lingers around when you look at any of third world country? It's obvious that the ability to do so otherwise is not an option. I don't know what the. I mean, obviously, you don't need to be in a third world country to recognize people want to believe they're free, whatever that is. They don't want to say, I'm a robot. I'm just regurgitating my personal experience. I'm just a reflexive organism. They want to say I'm creative. I'm free to make things. Yeah, some kind of notion like that. Turtle laying eggs. Very bad, but it's very good that the turtle, got its chance. But they're supposed to do it at night, in my opinion. So the fucking turtle was breaking the rules because it wasn't night yet. And there's another picture of a turtle, an egg nest where all the eggs got dug out and the raccoon ate them. So I mean, most of the eggs that get laid get eaten because these turtles aren't too damn fucking smart. All right. If you found out God was real, what would you do? I would just ponder the imbecility of it. I mean, there's got to be a catch, right? So, yeah, I'd be looking for the fake of it because there's still got to be a fake somehow. I mean, it's just a silly idea. Oh, you existed forever, and then just happens after 15 forevers or 5 million forevers or a forever squared, all of a sudden you had the idea, I'll make Earth and put humans on it and have parasitic bugs suck their blood. What? What? It took you forever to come up with an idea this stupid? Anuses right next to vaginas. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it took you forever to think of that idea. All right. In what specific manner is general relativity incorrect? In the specific manner that there's no time dimension, and in the specific manner that there's no such thing as a bending nothing. You don't bend nothing. Nothing doesn't bend. Jeez. Yeah, well, you can't disprove God theories, and frankly, relativity is essentially a God theory. It's basically saying there's this magic nothing that is bent by the magic force that bends it. There's nothing there. Where the hell was this? Bizarre. Where the hell's the comment? Weird. Okay. You have been blocked by inmendham. I don't know what this means. What do you think about nuclear salt reactors, particularly? I think it's stupid. They're not hot enough. That's what I think. 5:49 here in the UK. Who cares? Good morning, my lad. Well, I'm not your lad. I'm not your bull. I'm not your bro. I'm not your dude. The chess guy. Hi. Yes. Hi. What would it take to defeat Trump? I guess something in a funnier clown suit. So why don't we have an actual clown run against Trump? So an actual clown with big feet and a big, red nose and all that shit. Double ludicrous. Yeah. So fight ludicrous with double ludicrous. What do you do for money? Well, I do all kinds of nasty things. Yes, anything I have to do. When will the world ever wake up and see that Gary's video speaks the truth and that life really is of dumb, crude forces by DNA molecule trying to get into the future? Yes. Well, that part of it I didn't invent, but yes. How are your studies in physics coming? Anything new? I'm not studying physics. I'm correcting physics. But whatever. Would you kill TJ if you knew you wouldn't get caught? Well, he's not the top of my list, but I guess I'd eventually get around to him. Sure. Deporting works. You're just jealous of Trump. Why, I wonder. So this is from somebody who gives themselves the name homosexual nig Jew. So he thinks, I mean, what are you, a plant by some liberal person just to make conservatives look preposterous? Is that all you are? You're just trying to make conservatives look preposterous? So you're just a liar, deep liar? I mean, am I supposed to really believe that somebody who actually cares about conservative ideas would call himself homosexual nig Jew? Oh, please. What do you think about Mike Bull? He's obviously a friend of mine and such, mostly. Doesn't communicate much, I have to say, but that's the way it is with most friends. It's probably the best way. I don't know. Would be nice to get an update now and then. I wish I got eaten when I was an egg. Yes, well, okay. I mean, likewise. LOL. Intelligently designed infested wounds. I don't know what that means, but whatever. Thought, oh, my eyes are bad. Entropy prove time. I don't know what that even means, but obviously it doesn't. Time exists. It takes time for things to move distance. That's what the speed of light is proving. It takes time to go from here to there. So we're stuck with time existing because the fastest thing is still too slow. It's not instantaneous. So as long as something's not instantaneous, time exists. But that's all it is. It's just a byproduct of events happening not instantaneously. There's no dimension of time. What do you think of the walk away movement where Democrats are leaving to support President Trump? Well, I haven't heard of this. I mean, I don't see why anybody would support Trump, especially after what he's done, tax breaks for the rich. I mean, he hasn't done anything for the working person at all. So I don't know what kind of idiot, Democrat would think Trump proved himself a good guy after all. So I don't think there is any such movement. I think the midterm elections will demonstrate that most people think Trump's a piece of shit and an idiot. Would you prefer to kill Mullinex first? Frankly, I wouldn't prefer it. So, you know, like I said, there's more relevant. Do you think these fish are relevant? I don't think they're all that relevant. What the hell went wrong with the screen there? That's a bizarre interpretation of a photo. Uh, Google. What's your opinion on gun control? You can't really control guns. You can only control people's ideology and thought process. Obviously, most Japanese people don't have any desperate need to have a gun. They don't sit around all day going, I wish I had a gun. It's all a mental problem. You have an exceptional knowledge and range of topics. I know ethics, physics, and biology, but you know stuff about neuroscience, economics, engineering, etc. How did you acquire this? I'm old. I don't know how you don't acquire stuff with the internet and everything. It's just information everywhere. You just type something in and there's a big pile of information. Um, but yeah, clearly I always paid attention to such things. I mean, I spent a lot of time reading when I was in my youth. I mean, I didn't read novels. I read, college textbooks. Um, did a good job because those kids never got a chance to breed. I don't know who Adam Lanzer is, but whatever. I don't think murdering people is a good thing to do. Free and open, you got to argue the argument first. Free and open parenthood is inherently unfair. Yes, one child has to grow in a slum, the other gets a clean, stable home, whatever. Having kids is a bad idea. AN is a Zionist lie documentary, whatever that means. I mean, this whole, whatever this Zionist thing is, this whole, whatever Jewophobia thing, it just, grow up. Is the federal judge trying to repeal the EPA? I don't care. And they already wants a bunch to think tanks saying it goes beyond the constitutional innumerable powers. Well, who cares? I mean, we have presidential elections where the popular vote doesn't matter. The system's clearly pretty fucked up. Ideally, the biological parent should have a minimal role in their kid's development, providing an alternative support structure can be constructive. Well, I don't see why we should raise children, but regardless, I would take kids away from irresponsible parents. That is, anybody who has more than one or two. And, but I wouldn't bother raising other people's kids. Have you heard of the stone ape theory? Stoned ape theory. I don't think it's a theory. I think it's a fucking idiot notion or something, which posits that the transformation from human early ancestors, Homo erectus, to the species Homo sapiens was mainly due to foraging for psychedelic mushrooms. Obviously, it's just a silly pile of made up, babbly, faggoty bullshit. you know, I mean, this love affair with LSD. Again, name me the LSD person who's accomplished anything on this planet, anything of merit, done anything worthwhile. Name it. you know, there's better living through plastic. You can make all kinds of arguments about better living through. Lots of horrible things are, Dow Chemical is better than LSD. I mean, you're just being this silly fucking drug religion is just it's so fucking idiotic. Oh, I'm cool because I'm pro drug. You really think that way? You think that's cool? I'm pro drug. That makes me cool. No, that makes you an idiot. How do you think the universe came into existence? Who cares? It's obviously some kind of fart. Okay. I mean, I don't know what kind of ass existed before the universe for the fart to come out of, but it's clearly just a fart. Jesus. Trump appointee launched and whatever the Consumer Protection Agency, right, y'all? Whatever that is. Not really interested in Trump politics, frankly. Trump's an idiot. People voted for him. People are idiots. They want all kinds of stupid stuff. They want it both ways. They think rich people make money for them. They think if the rich get richer, they're going to get richer. They're that stupid. They don't think the rich are eating the same trough that they have to eat from. You know, they're just that stupid. Have you ever seen Harvey Pecker or his comic? I think you might like him. Well, you can think lots of stupid things. You do think lots of stupid things. Yeah, I'm not really interested. Comedy never really did anything fantastic for me. I didn't just sit around going, "Oh, I can't wait till the comic comes on." It never happened. Hey, I'm shirtless too. Well, whatever. Yes, it's 86.7 degrees in here, so it's hot. What do you think about simulation? Already another more with this simulation hypothesis. I'm really not interested. Silly simulation shit nonsense. You're all just such a bunch of fluffheads. Um, is George Soros a bad guy? I'm sure he is. Do you have a stockpile of fresh water? I don't even know what that means, but I have well water. Is a jackboot commie who is a mad because he can't get any LSD himself. Um, Miller Mantos. I don't know what that is even, but yes, I'll just get rid of you. Fuck you, you're an idiot. I'm obviously not envious of potheads and LSD unicorn riders. Won't AN policies cause population problems like with China? No. Where there's too many old people and it hurts the economy. Well, frankly, do you understand how stupid it is to think you can just forever have growth? Oh, yeah, just keep having more and more and more and more and more and more and more. Sooner or later, you have to learn how to do something sustainably, like balance your checkbook. You can't expect that the money just keeps coming into your account and you just spend the money and it's all free. So it's just irrational for you to have a conversation premised on it's bad to deal with reality and have a sustainable population. No, of course it's good and it's perfectly fixable. So I'm just saying there's no reason to think you can't fix the social service programs in the sense that obviously you can, make it more means tested, give it based on more on need. And so, yeah, and some people won't live quite as well in their retirement, but you can always fix the problems that could rise up. Yes, I've done all kinds of drugs. Who the fuck cares? I mean, you're these stupid idiots in their drug obsession. Like, oh, it's like it's something other than wanking. Yes, I've jerked off many, 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 many times, but I don't think, it's something I go around telling other people, oh, you have to jerk off. I mean, I shouldn't even have to sell it. If that's how you have fun, okay, is doing your drugs, fine. But that's all you're doing. You're just having fun. You're just wanking. You're not doing something spiritual or productive. Oh, man. Is this Miles Mathis? Not even close, retard. Not saying that drugs are a cure-all. They're not anything. They're scratching an itchy anus. People are probably better off without them. Oh, you figured that out on your own. Yeah, especially alcohol. I think you could demonstrate that alcohol hasn't made anyone a better human being. But there is research that shows benefits of psychedelics. What research? Where? That's just a complete pile of crap. A complete pile of crap. You can say that about anything. I could say rubbing turtles. There's research that shows rubbing turtles is good psychotherapy. Yeah. it's so anecdotal. Yeah, you have no sample to make any kind of judgments on it. It's just a pile of shit. I can say that about any drug I give somebody and then give them therapy. I could shoot fucking whale piss into their veins and then give them psychotherapy, and I could prove, look, the whale piss made it work. I mean, it's just garbage, junk science. Would you write an autobiography? I don't know. It's an interesting thought. I did have a lot of weird thoughts as a kid. Which government best represents your idea of how the country should be run? Unfortunately, there's none. They're all stupid. They all think we're our geography, not our philosophy. Uh, they all think it's more important to me that I live in Mendham than that I have an actual philosophical perspective. What do you think of Darwin as a scientist? Well, he was slow and deliberate, and that's a good thing to be, but he was a little bit too slow and a little bit too deliberate. How many generations do you think it will take to achieve Ephilism? I don't know. It could take a week, it could take a century, it could take forever. Just depends on how things turn. I can't predict those futures. Let's see. Is internet pornography harmful to society? Well, obviously, some pornography is harmful because it encourages um, an elevation in some kind of deviance. So, like violence or something. You really don't want to feed somebody's need for violence or somebody's sexual association. So that's where it gets a little bit dangerous, because it can escalate somebody from being somebody who would just punch a woman to somebody who'd kill a woman, that kind of thing. Um, because you always got to, it's like sex. Sometimes you're always trying to go a little deeper, go a little harder, go a little, you're always trying to make it different or better or hit a higher note. And so I'm just saying that that's what's dangerous about pornography is it desensitizes people. And there's some things you don't want to desensitize people to. So I would say that some pornography is very harmful. Just watching people fuck, I don't think is very dangerous or dangerous to women. But obviously, role playing in ways in which women are humiliated or degraded or shit on or something else is probably not something you want to feed in people. There is no legal reason why an atheist cannot be president, but for all intents and purposes, an atheist is unelectable in the US. Well, Trump is an atheist, newsflash. Obama's an atheist, newsflash. If you believed in God, don't you think you would go to your God's church? Don't you think you would pay some attention to the laws of your God and what the God thought was right and wrong? Don't you think you would read your God's book? Clearly, Trump never even read the Bible. He's not a Christian in any way, in any functional way. I don't think he could even sit through a sermon. Do you really think he could, like, actually go to a church and actually sit through the sermon? Who influenced you when you were growing up? Woody Woodpecker, of course. Yogi Bear, Fred Flintstone. Lots of people influenced me. That is funny. I don't know what was funny, but I'm sure it might have been. My Mexican neighbors are playing loud music. Yes, well, some cliches are cliches, unfortunately. I mean, the Mexicans around here like to drive around in trucks with no mufflers. You're just like, geez, cliche much? I think you should write an autobiography. Who cares? Okay, I think I should do lots of things. I don't think I'm going to get around to it, though, frankly. I like your philosophy. I'm fascinated by your personal life too. Well, that's your problem. Do you miss Brett Keane? No. Did he die? Hopefully. What do you think of Tess Holiday being used as an icon for the bloody positive movement? I don't know what the body positive music movement is, but whatever. Obviously, people in denial, I guess. Sounds like people in denial. What do you enjoy about live chat? Nothing. I hate people, and they just demonstrate that, frankly, they're just pretty much hateable. What do you think about the abrupt climate change theories? Well, I don't know what that is, but there's not going to be anything abrupt. So, I mean, and it's not going to kill us all. I mean, it's just silly. It's just going to get hot. It's going to get Jurassic Park. So, yeah, it's be dinosaurs pretty soon. Openly atheist ain't going to be elected. So, what says you? You know, clearly, if somebody would have said a woman wouldn't be elected or a black man wouldn't get elected, these things happen. So, grow up. Smell the future. It's coming. Trump would be picking snot and throwing paper airplanes in church. Well, whatever. You had to get a little bit vulgar. How do you think the world will end? Hot. Well, what are your thoughts on universal basic income? I think it's stupid. People need incentives to be productive. If you don't force them to work or force them to contribute, they won't. We're all lazy fucks. So I mean, it's just, you just can't do it. If you give people everything for nothing, enough for nothing, that is, if you give them incentive to do nothing but jerk off all day and take naps, they will. That's what I would do. And so all of my capacity to make a contribution will be lost. And so you're just going to create a bunch of people who just drink soda and then, eat food, waste space, consume oil, and then die. They won't ever make a contribution. What are your thoughts on vegetarianism? Are you vegan? Yeah, well, mostly, but I don't, it's not a religion to me. So if I ate a bug tomorrow, I wouldn't go, oh my God, I'm not a vegan anymore. Can nuclear war really wipe out the human species? Well, you can make a nuclear bomb as big as you want. That's a fact. And you can put it in hideous places that could kill an awful lot of people. I mean, if I had a nuclear bomb, I would just, if I was China, I would just sink it off the West Coast. Because clearly most of, 70% of the people live within, whatever it is, 6 meters of altitude, of the ocean, so you could wipe out millions that way, tidal wave, tsunami. Who is your favorite radio interviewer? I don't do radio much. Is traveling abroad for vacations overrated? Well, I would say so. I mean, I did a lot of traveling when I was a kid, but which is nice to go to a few places and say, oh, I saw the Grand Canyon and blah blah blah. Well, that's nice, but I personally had no incentive to do it. I mean, it's not something I would need to do. I'm just not a go and do thinger person. How do I stop eating meat? One piece of meat at a time, I suppose. There's lots of things to eat. Get a bag of potato chips. And when you're hungry for something meaty, then just have a potato chip instead and say, there, I had potato chips instead of meat. That's the big deal. There's a million yummy things to eat. You don't need to eat meat, for fuck's sake. Do you think the American public school system is? I don't know. I think it is. It does exist. Obviously, I would just blow it up and get rid of it and just have a pay kids to learn. I think testing is the intelligent thing to do. So that the whole approach is wrong. Tests are very good. Tests are how you tell whether somebody learns something is you test them. I mean, it's just so obvious. Have you thought about, what do you say here? Rice, beans, potatoes. Yes. Have you thought about starting a podcast like Joe Rogan and such? Well, whatever. I did podcast all of these what the fucks for the last 2 years. Nobody pays any attention to the MP3 files. So I don't know what a podcast is, but frankly, I don't think it does anything. I think Joe Rogan provides a great bridge between brawny and brainy. Well, you can think anything you want. I think he's a douche. Would you go on Joe Rogan's podcast if he asked you? Well, of course I would go on it just to talk about what a douche Joe is. But yeah, whatever. Gary, do you know the difference between car battery? Again, it's a 12-volt lead acid battery, retard. That's what it shoots back any voltage you want. So the controller shoots back 14 volts, 15 volts, 13 volts. I can charge it at any voltage I want to, you retard. Solar panels on the ground. So he laughs at that. You laughed at solar panels on the roof. So he says solar panels on the ground. You laughed at solar panels on the roof. Yes, of course. What's wrong with having solar panels on the ground? Pointed at the sun. I can move them as the sun moves. I can angle them exactly at the sun. Why doesn't that make sense, retard? God, I remember seeing this. He posted the same exact comment on my comment section. And I was like, what are you, retarded? How is this an argument, you fucking lunatic? Who doesn't have their solar panels hooked up to a 12-volt battery? Who? Who doesn't do that? A lead acid battery. That's exactly what you're connected. They're made to be connected to lead acid batteries through a charge controller. He's an idiot. What do you like most about yourself? Well, that I'm not anything like this douchebag named Sesame thing or whatever, surname. I'm not him. That's the thing I love about myself the most. I'm not a stupid, dumb cunt. Let's see. Your solar panels aren't connected to the grid. So what? I don't need them connected to the grid. Why do I need them connected to the grid to run something independent off of them? And as you said, you use the same as before the grid power during the day. No, I didn't say any such thing. I can run a fan off the solar panels during the day. I can use the energy during the day, or I can use it where I'm more likely to use it at night off the battery. So I use it off the battery mostly, but I do run the fan during warm days. I mean, when there's good sunlight, because obviously the panels don't, I mean, they're not creating that much electricity, frankly. I can't run that much off of them. But I charge things. I pointed out I can plug USB devices into it, multiple ones at 4 amps, so I can charge things galore. Idiot. Is that what you do now? Need for power stations. So is less during nights exactly the opposite of what it now is needed for power stations. I didn't get the solar panels to replace grid power or to do any of this kind of shit. I got them because they were reasonably priced, and I can, in fact, uh, you know, have some extra outdoor lighting that doesn't cost me anything. Idiot. Man, what a fucking idiot. Have you watched Oliver Stone's Untold History of the United States? Well, Oliver Stone kind of proved himself to be a propagandist. I mean, the Kennedy movie was just absolute rubbish. Some other FBI movie he made was rubbish. So he's not very reliable. Are you concerned about the trade war with Canada? What do you think of Canadians? Well, I'm frankly related to people who were actually Canadian citizens on both sides of my family. But regardless, look, Canada's a bullshit country in a lot of ways, in the sense that it just feeds off of us having to provide this huge military industrial complex to protect Canada. You know, they just get it for free. And they've never been very appreciative of the fucking umbrella of protection America provides and how expensive it is for Americans to provide that umbrella. Now, I agree that, you know, Canadians could gripe that they don't really want us killing Muslims because that's not doing them any good. But, you know, clearly they have, you know, they're not Russia because we stopped that from happening, not because they did. We paid for it. They didn't. But I think we deserve whatever trade war we get because Trump's an idiot. I'm half Mexican, half Caucasian. I could care less about racial purity. Yeah, well, I don't care too much about it either. But I mean, there is something real to recognize that yes, the human race will turn into a mutt. So you know, if humans are still around in a couple hundred years, they're going to be kind of muddy. You know, you're not going to have any purebreds anymore. And you know, I can see why some people might lament that a little bit. That's all. But it's just psychological rubbish. But I can see why people would do it. Public schools are only as good as their municipality's ability to pay for them. Well, that's just idiotic. I mean, they spend insane amounts of money on absolute garbage, fucking $1 million music rooms. So they spent $1 million on a music room here. Public schools are shit. Stupid motherfucker. Does Anaconda enable bullies and predators and shame victims? Who cares? Anaconda's a predator. So he's a fucking exploitionist. I don't know. Joe Rogan doesn't say anything meaningful or important. He's a fucking idiot, in my opinion. He interviews these people, and it's all softball bullshit. He's useless. I don't understand the fascination. I don't know even why you know his name. He's uninteresting. He doesn't have any like compelling attributes at all. He doesn't have some charisma thing. He's not like the amazing atheist would be a hell of a lot more interesting just as his mannerisms alone. Joe Rogan is boring and he says boring things. Do you think the most historically discriminated group is? Who cares? I think it's the ugly. Why aren't there reparations for ugly people? Well, frankly, ugly doesn't breed true, so that doesn't really work, asshole. Blacks are the most discriminated. Well, whatever. That's not true either, I don't think. I wonder what black people expect to be paid with when they ask for reparations. Well, again, just to mock the subject, it's sort of an important subject, this whole inheritance and entitlement thing. Clearly, to understand how many people in America are living off inherited money, and black people never had any of that cushion against failure. They can't just invest in themselves in a business or in something else with granddaddy's money. Do you agree with global warming, climate change being a real thing? Well, I think, duh. I mean, I've said it is there's an obvious circumstance. We have obviously dug a bunch of black shit out of the ground, coal, and then we've pumped a bunch of black shit out of the ground, oil. Now that black shit is carbon colored, so it's got carbon in it. It's carbon sink. So a bunch of carbon that would be out here in the atmosphere and would be out here in the, exposed, isn't exposed anymore. It's sunk in the ground, hidden, and we unsunk it. So the Jurassic, the carbon was loose, and then the organisms, because there were so many of them, they all died and nothing ate them, and so they all sank into the ground, essentially, their corpses, and they sank a bunch of carbon. And we're unsinking the carbon. So we're obviously returning the atmosphere back to what it was in the Jurassic, which was hot and steamy. So clearly that's what we've done. It's kind of obvious, isn't it? I mean, can't you just draw like a cartoon book and explain it like just a pop-up cartoon book could do it? Do you need any more of an argument than to recognize how much we've pumped half the oil that's in the ground out of the ground, half of it? Huge amount of carbon. Not interested in race realism. I agree with your views in Canada. Well, I don't know if I really have any complete views, but anyway, will the next ice age kill humans? Well, whatever, the next ice age is going to be delayed. I know it's thousands of years away, but it may be the closest thing. Well, I don't think ice ages aren't nearly as scary, but you're not going to be able to have an ice age when you have carbon, an excess of carbon in the atmosphere. I just don't think the ice age can happen under that circumstance. Do we currently have the technology to extinct all life on Earth? Yes, we do, including resistant life forms. It doesn't matter where it is. We can turn this planet into Venus. There ain't going to be no life on it when it's 479 degrees Celsius. Are you of Anglo-Saxon heritage? I don't know. I have blue eyes. So that's only a 20,000-year-old invention, the blue eyes. So, yeah. Car lead acid batteries are starting batteries. It doesn't matter. Lead acid is what the little batteries are too. All the batteries are the same. All the 12-volt batteries are the same. All the ones that have lead in them are the same, idiot. It doesn't matter. They all charge the same way. The same chemistry runs them, you dumb motherfucker. Um, so it's just wrong. Using reasonable amounts of its capacity kills it after small number of cycles. It's just not true. Car batteries can go through many charge discharge cycles. The key is you just can't discharge them completely. If you discharge them completely, that will hurt them. But they're made to do exactly what I'm doing, which is drain it, charge it, drain it, charge it, you fucking cunt. I don't know. There's lots of movies that are worth watching. They're interesting visually, or something else. But I'm not going to go through a list here. I'm too tired for that kind of mush. Why are you apathetic about male circumcision? I'm not apathetic. I'm sort of on one side, which is I've been circumcised. My penis works great. I think it all came out fine. So why would I be a hypocrite and say, "Oh yeah, it's a big bad idea. I want my gummy, gooey, smelly, yeast-covered skin back." No, I don't want it back. Thank you for removing it. I appreciate it. Could do nothing but get in the fucking way. Why would I want to fuck my own foreskin? I mean, fuck that. So you say it causes unnecessary pain when there's no you haven't even explained how infants are even conscious at all. How they actually have a conscious function. They have reflexes. No evidence that they actually experience pain. They have reflexes that are intended to make a mother pay attention to it. They're they're made to be obnoxious. That's it. They're not made to have a learning experience because they can't do it. They haven't acquired the necessary skills. They haven't even figured out what gravity is yet, you fucking idiot. Um, let's see. We can detonate a hydrogen bomb at the bottom of the Mariana Trench and try to knock the Earth off its orbit. Well, I think you could cut the Earth right. I think you could blow the fault right open, and you could make all of the hot stuff ooze out. You could cause all kinds of massive problems that would just make the environment. The idea is to put so much crap in the atmosphere that you'd create a super greenhouse effect and just incinerate everything. Are landlords evil? Should private property be abolished? No, I don't think so. I'm just saying for profit should be abolished. Usury should be abolished. Usury is the root of all the evil. You shouldn't get paid for not doing any work. Surplus shouldn't earn you an income. All right. Rock on. I don't really want to rock on, but whatever. Yeah, Quinta guy. Spooky character. So, anyway. Oh, there's the house next door to my house that I was raised in. Yeah. The snapping turtle, one of them. So there's four different snapping turtle pictures, which is really weird to see that many snapping turtles in one year, in one pond. Just really amazingly strange. I saw them fucking. I caught the painted turtle laying eggs. I mean, it's, you don't see that shit all in one year. The chat has discontinued to do anything. So everybody dropped dead or something? What happened? Somebody type something just to see if it works. Ah, there we go. Are we now a post-truth society? I don't know what post would be. I don't think we ever were a truth society. Obviously, humans have always been dumb. We're still dumb. And all there is hope that we'll get smarter. Or have we always had a challenging relationship to truth. Well, obviously, religion is a demonstration of a pretty challenged relationship to the truth. Will science survive the Trump era? Well, science was already in big trouble before Trump showed up. Higgs boson, gravity waves, all a big pile of hype and bullshit. Since we will never have the right to die, well, says you, what is your preferred method when the time comes? I liked Kevorkian's idea of you put a tourniquet around your neck with that blocks your carotid arteries, right? Those are the ones in your neck. Compresses them. Um, that seems pretty good. I liked helium until it's got some. It isn't just instantaneous. It's not like you don't notice. So I don't know. I don't want to really feel like I'm suffocating. So I don't know. I can't read this. Is fusion energy via able in the future? You can't build a container for it, so it's going to be very difficult to do. And I don't think it's going to be less dangerous. So I don't even see the point in it, frankly. Would you rather be dropped in a pit of crocodiles or great white sharks? Well, the sharks get ready to kill you quicker than a crocodile, I think. Crocodiles tear you to pieces pretty, slowly but surely. What if the doctor mangles the penis during circumcision? Well, frankly, how often do you think that happens? It's generally a safe procedure, but not without risk. Well, I'm just saying it's technically shouldn't have much of a risk. It's not brain surgery. you know, Frankly, if your doctor can't cut off a piece of foreskin without fucking it up, you probably shouldn't be a doctor. So somebody again points out the remark I made about the sunglasses at 12 noon when I meant sunglasses indoors, but whatever. What did you think of Christopher Hitchens? I didn't think much of him as a warmongering bigot, so didn't have much use for him at all. Um, and he was a lunatic, truther theory promoter. I mean, he had all this crap about Clinton running cocaine and all kinds of silly shit theories. Carbon monoxide poisoning, I think you just fall asleep and never wake up. Yeah, if it works, right? Or you end up choking on your own vomit. So, still you know, just not as perfect as one would like these things. Do you think evolution will be mandatory education one day? If so, when? Why, I think evolution's already pretty much mandatory for any civilization that takes knowledge seriously. And frankly, if you take the evolutionary story seriously, you're already an ethicist. I heard helium only takes 10 seconds. Well, that sounds silly. So to go unconscious, I don't know where you heard that, but it doesn't. And since it replaces the oxygen, you don't have the feeling of suffocation, right? Well, I'm just saying that's theoretically how it's supposed to work. I have reason to believe it isn't quite that good. Is communism the answer to capitalism? Maybe just because you can't replace the other atmosphere with pure helium immediately. So unless you create the right vehicle to, make sure that you don't have any of your exhaled breath mixed into the helium. I mean, it's a little complicated. In reference to the exit bag, more of this stuff. Is communism the answer to capitalism? Well, I don't think you have to go that far. I think all you have to do is have non-for-profitism, so non-exploitanism. As long as we're not, so look, non-ownerism. Just get rid of the owners of business, and we'll just have businesses owned by the workers and the consumers. We'll own it. We don't need the owners. Maybe when the pond got dredged, it triggered the turtles to behave differently. No, I mean, what's clearly making them behave differently is the fact that, yes, the water's deeper, so they can't just sit. Whether before they could sit anywhere and they could reach up and breathe. So now they're much more active because they can't just sit on the bottom and reach their neck up. They have to actually rise to the surface to get air. So, yeah, they're behaving very different. Let's see. A tourniquet around your neck is a good way to go. Well, I'm just saying that was actually Kevorkian's preference. but he thought it looked like strangling people, so he couldn't do it because it didn't look good. you know. Do you watch Counterpoints? No, not really. I'm really not into the, it's just, fine. I'm all for tranny expression and people want to cross dress, people want to do all that shit. That's their business. I'm just not into it. It's like people can play with their anuses and, it's their business. It's their anuses. They want to play with them, fine. I'm just not a big fan of anal play. I heard nitrogen is supposed to be an effective way to go out. I know someone who did that. Yeah, well, I hear nitrogen is better, but I don't know if it's much better. But yeah, it seems like it should be better theoretically. I mean, but both gases are supposed to be a replacement for oxygen. When you profitize a public function, things get fucked up because capitalists stop hoarding the money that the government would have otherwise had. Well, that's only part of the problem. I mean, you just don't get as much for your money because you're paying people's profit tax. So you're not getting what you're paying for as a service getting done. So there's no point in hiring it done when you can do it yourself and keep that part of the money towards the function. Have you ever contracted toxoplasma? No, I never did from any of the, no, I don't know. I mean, frankly, I could have, and you wouldn't know, right? It really only bothers women. It doesn't really bother men. What's the point of extending existence? Well, I mean, it depends on what part of your existence you're extending, I suppose. I mean, if you could stay 20 years old for 50 years, that might be fun. No, but I mean, obviously, I'm not for extending anything. What's the best way to deal with corporate monopolies? I don't know. Monopolies aren't really a problem. It's like Google is a monopoly, but it's like a monopoly by people's choice, and so is Microsoft. They essentially voted for it. People did. They don't do anything to try to keep these things in line. They don't want them regulated. So you get what you get what you get. You get what you fucking vote for. I've said I'll probably do a GNUs in the future. Some GNUs. I'll probably do something in the future. I'll do something. I haven't figured out what that's going to be yet. I need to do something different than what I'm doing because this isn't really working. Well, obviously the Jonestown way of dying wasn't very pleasant. I mean, the all cyanide, strychnine, or whatever, they're all vomiting. It's all very quite unpleasant way to die. So it's not exactly how, that's not exactly how I wish people to go out. Do you have advice on how I can fight polyanism at work? No, there's no. I don't know what you're going to do anything about and fight anything at work. You know, work is a place where you have to obey rules. You don't get to make rules. You probably not even know what power you're using. You made toy and laugh on real installations. There is logic behind simulation hypothesis or whatever. Go fondle your unicorn penises. Fuck you. I don't know if I would want to know the exact time of my death, but I guess it'd come in handy, frankly. Because obviously you clean up and do what you need to do. So I guess it'd be nice to know. Well, I don't think you can do the same thing to a cat that you can do with humans. Necks are different than cat necks, quite obviously. So I wouldn't count on you'd end up suffocating it, not making it go unconscious. See, the key is if you can block these arteries, you compress them, you just go unconscious. You're done. Consciousness stops. You stop the blood pressure, you stop the consciousness. So you're not suffocating, you're ending your consciousness. Well, a good life obviously should have good deeds in it. That would be one definition. Do you respect the U.S. Constitution? Well, parts of it. One day closer to Monday. I don't know what that means, but who cares? What do you use for uh, euthanasia patients? Um, well, they obviously do a lot of stupid things. They use morphine sometimes, just give them too much morphine. Um, but, I mean, obviously, I would just put people to sleep with, the same shit you put people to sleep with when you're going to do surgery. Works pretty good. I remember when I got my appendix out, I got to like 90, they tell you to count backwards, and you're going like 98, 97, 96. I didn't get out of the 90s. I was done. So yeah, just put them to sleep first and then cut their heads off. Who cares? Have you had any luck in my personal life? I don't know what is my personal life exactly. But yeah, frankly, no, I can't say I've had personal conversations with enough people to have converted anybody. So, um, yeah, I can't think of, like, I haven't converted my sisters or anything. Should all students be required to learn high level mathematics and study STEM majors in college? I don't know. I don't know. High level mathematics, I'm not too charmed. I don't think it's so fucking charming. I think engineering is good stuff. I think understanding uh, basic physics and earth science even is fine, but I don't see any point in doing high level mathematics. I don't think that's going to save anybody. Are you a strict imperialist? I don't know what that means. Do immaterial things exist? No. How do you explain things that aren't made of matter? Forces. Forces are made out of something, they're made out of bits. But objectively exist like numbers. Numbers don't objectively exist. It's only a concept. Two-ism, two-ness. These two fingers have two-ness. These two objects have two-ness. It's a concept. It's not something that is. It's just a concept. The ness. Laws of logic are not material. It's just silly. Uh, what what would you generally change about humans to make them better species? Well, obviously they have to be re-educated, and has to start with humiliation. Recognizing that your brain is just constantly contriving bullshit to make you feel good about being the asshole that you are, and there's real incentives for you to programs in your brain to be discouraged from pointing out how you're an asshole. And and those are the programs you really have to listen to because they're the ones telling the truth. Let's see. I think that people are either predisposed to Efilism or they're not. Well, I don't believe any of that shit. I think I was predisposed to it until I stumbled onto inmendham 2007. Um, I mean, obviously, believing in evolution starts you off as having a capacity to get it, right? Because if you understand evolution, you understand that it's making hundreds of things and it's killing them so it can perfect a tiny percentage. So once you understand that's the basic DNA mechanism, make a million of something, destroy them brutally, so we can improve the one or two or three that survive. I mean, just on its face, that's a bad invention. What should I bring to the inmendham fan meetup? Well, you always have to bring cigarettes. Yes, Bill got that one right. Do you believe in Marxism, Marxism? Um, those who forget the past are doomed to repeat it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously there's some things you can learn over time, and then you're changed by what you learn. I mean, once you know 2 + 2 = 4, then you can't believe 2 + 2 = 3 or 2 + 2 = 1 or some other bullshit. You can't. You're confined by the new circumstance. So we do evolve, and some of what we did in the history, it's better not to learn it. There's no lesson to be learned because, you know, the circumstance that isn't a circumstance that exists anymore. Now that we know that 2 plus 2 equals 4, there's no point in worrying about, well, don't worry, you have to worry about that 3 always sneaking in. Well, no, the 3 can't sneak in anymore. You ever eat at restaurants? Now, I used to work at restaurants, and frankly, you don't want to eat anything at a restaurant. You really just don't want to do it. Unless the stuff is burning hot, you don't eat it. Restaurants are really nice for sitting and drinking, and looking at chicks and candlelight and shit, but I wouldn't eat in one. Bring your parents. I don't know what that means. Wait, there's a fan meetup? When? No, there's no fan meetup. You should states' right be respected. Should states' rights be respected? I have no use for states, frankly. I want to live in the United States, and we just forget about the states and just live in the United States, okay? One country. That's I want us all to be Americans, and I don't want to worry about who lives here and who lives there. And oh, I'm in New Jersey and I'm a New Yorker. Fuck that shit. This will be a waste of time. What? Fuckhead.
Hey, Gary, bathtub guy. Post the link.
All right.
For that, post the link.
Good night, retard. Let's see. I mean, to do the same thing twice. I mean, I've already pointed out you can't post links. You want to get in the room, you have to request to be in the room, and you have to say, give me a reason why you want to talk to me, and it's fine. Then I'll send you the link by email. But there's no posting links in Google. Google doesn't let you do a public room. It's just a fact. You can't do it. I have no tools to be able to do it. If I open the room to the public, the room will be destroyed. That's just what will happen. There's people who don't like our free speech, and they will ruin the room. Wayward, I talked to years ago, and he's been all over the different, he's been all kinds of different things. And so someday he may settle on being one person and stay that person, but we'll see. Yeah, well, fake Sagan made some veiled threats about what he was doing. I mean, part of me says he's either gone chasing after the little Russian chick at the church, or he went back to school. So it's one of those two things, I was thinking. But it might just be that he's, in a homeless shelter. Who knows? If no one will ever care about me, and no one will care when I die, why should I care about the chicken I kill to eat? Well, that's just being an idiot. You think it's just about you then, right? I mean, that's really just a silly statement. The chicken is its own being. It has to be respected as the being it is. You're demonstrating that you don't respect the chicken because somebody hurt you, you're going to go hurt somebody else. So if I rape you horribly and brutally, you would go out and rape somebody. I mean, it's the silliest thing ever. You're really stupid. The ozone layer is deteriorating. Well, I mean, pretty slowly, actually. That's why the sun feels hotter on your skin now. Yeah. That's a little bit iffy. Is Brett Keane still alive? I don't know, and I couldn't care less. According to several news articles, suicide rates have risen 25% among all groups in the U.S. since the mid-90s. Well, people are just better at it. But clearly, the world is pretty grisly. So, it's, especially if I was a young person growing up in this tacky world, it's pretty discouraging. I mean, the world I grew up in, at least things still had some integrity. You could have, there was some honesty somewhere and some decency somewhere. And it's like now everything is so dishonest and so crooked. I mean, we have the most, the biggest liar, compulsive fucking liar as president of the United States. Just a compulsive fucking liar. He's been lying since the 70s. I mean, compulsive liar. I mean, that's really discouraging. Well, I take baths all the time now because I take really hot ones, 120-degree bath every night to deter the ticks and such, to fight the Lyme disease menace. So yeah, it's really it's kind of brutal taking a very hot bath on a very hot day. But anyway, do you believe in hate speech? I believe it's fine I think people have a right to hate, frankly, so I think it's okay. Threatening speech is no good. But if you want to just say, I hate something, that's okay with me. I mean, I think people are allowed to be racist if that's what they want to be. I mean, that's, if that's what their brain says, they're genetically that way. I just think it's a silly argument. I think we know that people aren't genetically much, and that, it's all about what kind of environment you raise them in. And there's white trash and there's black trash, and there just happens to be more black trash because more black people are raised in trash. Yeah, it's not that complicated. Free speech doesn't exist since people don't have equal representation. Well, that's, we don't have even representation or proportional representation, and that's a problem. But obviously, we also don't have money. Money is speech. You have money, you can talk. You don't have money, you don't talk. The real fact. If numbers are just concepts and concepts are made of brain chemicals, well, whatever. There are arrangements of neurons, but whatever. Who's to say your number two is the same as anybody else's? Well, I'm just saying that the rules of the word two, the description two, has a definition. The definition is this, not this, not this. Okay, this. That's the definition. So it's just stupid. You don't get to make up your own definition of two. Two has a definition. I don't know. I don't know why people make this complicated. Just amazing. They trip over something this obvious. There's no confusion about what is a two. None whatsoever. Have you ever tried the no flat fat challenge? I don't know why I would bother, but whatever. No, I guess I haven't. Would you accept racial segregation if it led to more peaceful and desirable societies? No. Slavery was quite peaceful. No. Just stupid. Where would mixed race people live then? Yeah, well, I'm just saying it's a cultural problem. So I'm just saying, so okay, you're going to make two separate Americas. Fine, you're going to seed them with 10 black people, and then this one will be seated with 10 white people. I mean, it's just what, you're going to have a contest? What if white man loses? Are you going to be disgraced and humiliated? People are just so stupid. Do you think IQ tests? No, I don't think IQ tests are worth anything, frankly. The very idea of having a test where you require people to answer the question quickly, that is, you give them a time limit to think and understand what they're trying to do, is just measuring how fast people read. It's just measuring things that don't matter. So there should never be a time limit on an IQ test. Is it possible someone's genes might affect their political leanings? Who cares? If no, why not? Well, I just don't understand what genetic function you would think would have a political relevance besides what they have. They can smell horse shit or they don't smell horse shit. I mean, whatever. Just a silly notion. IQ tests show strong correlation with life success. Well, no, they don't. So that's more bullshit. Money shows a high correlation. So there's no, obviously people that have more money are likely to have higher IQs because they, obviously if you're living in a ghetto, you're not going to be exposed to a lot of knowledge and trivia and other bullshit that's on IQ tests. Told me last time I was whining that nothing can be done and you won't be the next Martin Luther King. Well, I don't even know. I never said any such thing. No chicken instantly dying means nothing to me. Even if I respect the chicken, life has no effect on ethnic. Well, whatever you're saying, I don't give a shit about this crap. You're just whining. You're saying because no one respects me, I'm not going to respect anything else. You think I'm supposed to think that's good logic? No, that's baby logic. That's a little resentful, petty, selfish fuck. You're saying, oh, my pain's more important than anybody else's. Mine first. Take care of me first, or I won't take care of anything. Somehow everything else is irrelevant because of how you treat me. No, that has nothing to do with what everything else is. Its status is its status. Its condition is its condition. Your condition is a separate condition. Asshole. Put a shirt on. Fuck you. Die. Horribly. Yeah, that's it. Die horribly. Oh, God, this fucking idiots. Have you lived in New Jersey your whole life? No. I was born in New Jersey. After I was born, we lived in Louisiana for 7 years. Then we moved back to New Jersey. So, yes, I've lived here all but 7 years. And of course, the months I lived in Canada and other places for periods of time. I thought conservatives had an enlarged amygdala, a region of the brain that responds to fear. Well, whatever that is. That doesn't sound like real science either. Would you go to Yankee game if you had a free ticket? No. Are you in favor of reparations to Black Americans? No. I mean, I think they've had their chance. They've got to clean up their own mess. There's no point giving them money now because it's like the way they divvied up Russia. They they take a broken system and then give everybody a piece of the pie and say, look, we're going to give everybody a piece of the pie. Well, obviously it doesn't mean anything because none of them had jobs, so they had to spend their piece of the pie to buy food. So they didn't have no piece of the pie. So now 12 families own Russia. So obviously giving blacks reparations now wouldn't do any good. But I think the fact is that the very fact is that there is a disconnect between the linkage to what they earned and what legacy they should have. So you're saying they're not entitled to inherit any value, but white people who own slaves can. Right now, there's white people who are living off of plantation money. All right. So they've inherited plantation money. And you think that's okay. So I could argue that maybe instead of giving blacks reparations, we should take the inheritance away from the plantation legacy owners. So the people who have inherited plantation money, we should discontinue that inheritance. Were fire ants a big problem when you lived in Louisiana? Well, they existed, but I didn't find them a problem. They were some of my friends. I used to hang out with them. What's the difference between injustice and revenge? Justice and revenge. What if you don't? I have to explain that to you. I mean, obviously, one has a principled objective, which is to correct for an unfairness or to prevent a future crime, some real purpose. And revenge just has a petty, knee jerk, eye for an eye nonsense. It doesn't have a plan. It doesn't, there's no necessity that the condition you create will be a better condition. So, revenge is stupid. Is it possible to stop being an a-hole? Yes, I think it is. Partially. You never get all the stink off of you. I heard you eat ships which have skim milk. I don't know what that even means. In the sour cream flavoring. Again, this is the kind of stuff you're worried about. I haven't had a sour cream potato chip probably in 2 years, but regardless, you know, even if I did, you think the flavoring on potato chips is something we need to worry about? I think I'm just going to block you. That's just nonsense. I mean, of all the things, oh, you're a hypocrite because you ate a sour cream potato chip. I mean, it's just such a silly argument. Do you go out shopping for food or have it delivered? Neither one, really. But yeah, I always buy in bulk and on sale. So you look great without a shirt, Gary. Who cares? I'm really not doing it for you. I'm just doing it because it's hot in here. No point in stinking a shirt up for no good reason. Never change. What's your favorite way to cool off in the summer? Do you swim? Well, I have a, I actually have a video I already made. Probably post tomorrow from the pool. you know, the Bundy pool. Anyway, is buying a house a good investment? Well, it's better than renting. Yes, it's better than renting. Rent is throwing your money away. Buying, have some hope of getting your money back. At what point is overthrowing a government ethical, considering the violence a revolution usually entails? Well, what, do you think there's some point I can say? I don't know, Thursday. When it's a Thursday, it's okay to have a revolution. I mean, I can't tell you what fucking amount of risk is worth um, revolting. Obviously, you have to wait till the circumstance shows up and decide whether you should or shouldn't. It's but I mean, obviously, the American Revolution, a lot of people died. Horrible deaths. It really was a grisly way to die. Wasn't really worth it for them, was it? Do universals exist? Oh, of course they do, retard. Any chance of getting the GNUs back? We already did this. When will you be hitting golf balls? I did order that some too. Do you think it's harder to be a serial killer now compared to 50 years ago? Well, obviously it's more difficult because the technology is pretty good at sniffing you out. I mean, they can, yeah, they can get a DNA from sweat for fuck's sake. Yeah. Why do humans often associate beauty with mortality? I mean, if you're a smart serial killer, though, you could secure somebody else's DNA, a homeless guy or something, and sprinkle it all over the crime scene. And, you could probably set somebody up a lot easier today. Because you could just you can plant a few fake fingerprints, a few DNA, and all of a sudden, oh, yeah, it couldn't be me. It has to be that guy. His DNA is all over her corpse. Why do humans often associate beauty with mortality? I don't know what that means, so I don't even want to bother with it. Are you misanthrope? Misanthrope. Whatever. Yeah, I'm kind of media. I'm kind of not happy. I'm kind of a sad person. The world is a sad place full of horrible waste, and it's all very depressing. And so, yeah, I guess so. Are you an enthusiast? Is that what you just sit around all day going how great everything is, the way people are being exploited and working too many hours and eating, unedible crap and, fuck you. Their sexual selection is racist. I don't know if that's true. White women being more favorable than black. I don't know what that means. Then wouldn't it cause inherent problems in a multicultural society where men and other races compete for the same white women? Yeah, well, whatever. Earl Grey. You're just too weird. Obviously, it's a circumstance of transition. So, yes, it's going to be weird for people. We're transitioning. We haven't done this multiculturalism thing. We haven't done this small planet Earth thing. So, yes, this is a little bit strange because we're not as familiar anymore. But clearly, for a ton of people, diversity is no problem. There's lots of women who they go out with black men and lots of blah, blah, blah. So there's lots of places where there's no evidence this is a problem for some people. Now, for me, I do have kind of narrow preferences, and that's just a fact. But it doesn't mean anything philosophically. It's just a challenge that you end up having psychologically. I don't know why people are obsessed with any of this shit. So why obsessed with serial killers? Why they're obsessed with issues that they can't do anything about. The small world syndrome is a real thing. You're not gonna create racial segregation on Earth. Just really isn't going to happen. It's gonna go mutt. It's just a fact. So just let go of your notion that you're gonna have some white world somewhere. Anyway, are you strangely suntanned or just the lighting? I don't know. I guess it's just the lighting. See, I can make the light change. I could put this light on, change things entirely. But my back is really tanned. I don't know why the back is much more tan than the front, but it just happens to be that way. I guess I do a lot of bending over. Anyway, grow veggies. I love your garden. You believe in a death sentence? Yes. I just believe in being accountable. That is, the governor should say, I watched the trial. I saw the evidence. He's guilty. If somehow we made a mistake, then you can put me in jail for 10 years. So as long as the way somebody signs it who's willing to go to jail for 10 years, fine. I never dated a white woman. They just don't do it for me. Well, I know that's kind of a weird thing in my opinion, but I get it. I mean, it's just yeah, I look, white women look good to me, whatever. Do people in wealthier countries have a moral obligation to help those in poor countries? I think we just have an ethical, yes, obviously we have an obligation to other sentient beings not to leave them in squalor. So if we can do something to fix their country, give them some help, fine. But obviously the way we help people isn't the way we should be helping them. We should be helping them by giving them condoms and explaining to them how having 10 kids doesn't work. You can't take care of them. You can't maintain an infrastructure. You have to create surplus in a country. If you want your country to become better, you have to create extra value. And if all you're doing is living hand to mouth, in terms of barely feeding yourself, you're not going to build a better country. You need leisure work time to spend time working on non-essential stuff like libraries and schools and universities and all that kind of stuff. I'm Hispanic, but I prefer white people's company more. Just saying. Yes, it's true about anybody. Everybody's got their own blah, blah, blah. Uh, you know, I lived in Louisiana, but I hated Southerners. yeah, yeah. I loved the weather, but I just absolutely had contempt for the idiots who lived down there. Just complete morons. Would a government run by, what is it, algorithms? AI, there's no such thing as AI. And statistics be better or worse than governments we have now? Well, I'm just saying they have to be programmed, so it's just stupid. I mean, you have to program it with the values. How much is a baby's cry worth? How much is a 5-year-old's lollipop happiness worth? You have to program it with all that stuff. So there's no way you can just run it by algorithms. Should jury duty be abolished? There should just be a professional juries. Yes, juries should be well-informed, intelligent people. They shouldn't be the dregs of society. Retarded old people, people who compulsively lie. I never heard of O.J. Simpson and stuff. Who's he? I mean, just complete liars get put on juries. How's it going? Just started watching your channel again after a few years away, wondering if you'd consider the Fermi paradox very much in your thought experiments. Well, there's no paradox. I mean, it's just, I'm just saying clearly we understand the universe, parts of the universe are much older than we are. Where's the intelligent life? It's had billions of years head start on us. So give us 1 billion years to advance our technology. We would be making a hell of a lot of noise by then. So I'm just saying it's clearly, a problem. Are you fine with the current gun laws? No. I'm obviously there's giving guns to lunatics. Kids should not have guns, frankly. And clearly they let crazy people go buy guns. I mean, they're doing it. We see what happens. The crazy person got a gun and they go and shoot people with their gun. I mean, it's stupid. Yes, I have been summoned to jury duty, but never complied with such summonses. What a horror that must be. Oh, sometimes it's good to be neurotic and get out of a few things. That's one hell of a thing to get out of. Ugh. I'd end up going to jail serving jury duty because I'd stand up and say, "You're all out of order. This whole fucking thing's out of order. You fuckers." Anyway, it seems like I'm getting tired. So it's probably a good time to quit when I seem to be getting tired. So I think that's it. Yeah, I think what you do is you just show up and say, just start, dropping N bombs all over the place and they'll let you go. You know, where the ends be? Well, just do some kind of crazy shit. Oh, yeah, I guess you're not suitable for a jury. I can't even read what this is. Most of our growth, I don't know what that is. Go tan in front of your torso, mate. Even out, whatever. Fuck you. I always miss my fave streams thingy, whatever that. I don't even know what that means. Fucking Flamanji thing. Bye, Derry. Thanks for answering my stupid questions. Yes, I wish they weren't quite as stupid though. But anyway. All right. Till the next time, and such and so forth and whatnot. And yeah. Yeah. I'll try to do better. Just you know, I try. I just haven't now. It's just so many things I'm doing. I just got to do less things, but I don't know. I don't seem to do less. This was a big snapping turtle. It was like, well, it's over there. Probably close to 40 pounds. Big. I mean, it was like 3 feet long, 2 feet across. Big fucking turtle. Anyway, till the next time and such. IQ is meaningless, blah, 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 blah. I'm just saying. Uh, the IQ test could be better, is my only argument. I don't think very smart people designed the test, frankly. People with not a very smart IQ figured out what to put on these tests. Anyway, why I'm blocked? Question mark. Well, I don't know why you are. You must have said something stupid. How to make money? Question mark. Good question. If I knew that, I'd be making some. Oh, geez, people are so stupid. I think you're a nihilist. Yes, well, that's just totally idiotic. Now working, fuck this. I don't even know what that means either. Good. I'm glad you're being nice and irrational as I'm leaving. It just gives me feel better about leaving that way. Yeah. It's the right thing to do. They are idiots. Hey, the screen is completely black. Isn't that interesting? There. Okay, so I fixed it in a funny way. That is strange, right? I mean, it didn't work at all, and now it shows up. Anyway, I can hit the button anyway. You can see the button. I'm going to hit button.